And I want to show you guys how cheaply made these condos are. Almost no insulation. If you fart, you can hear it in one room. What's up, everybody? Today's video I'm going to show you how I built this door. Not only that, how I actually built this entire bedroom in a condo in only 3 days. I'm going to show you how to create the base, all the framing on a 15-foot ceiling
within the constraints of any condo built in the Toronto area.
There's no insulation in here whatsoever. So it's basically a paper thin. If you fart, you can hear it in one room. Boom! All right, so it's the morning. We've assembled the couch. We've got the table, side table. Look at that, we have a whole bedroom. But we decided to, oh my God, I'm so tired. We decided to basically take this room and this a big giant den and turn this into a third bedroom. So we pretty much got most of the supplies needed. All the wood, 2x2s, drywall. This is the door. 4 pieces of drywall, not enough, but that's what we're doing for now. All right, we got it in. Let's get inside. With the sheets of drywall, we got 4 of them, so we got enough to cover this whole top section. And then we've actually found a door at Home Depot as well. This is an entire kit, and it matches this one, kind of. So that's good. So I think we're just gonna have to paint this white or something. But yeah, so, oh man, I'm so tired. So tired, but oh my God. So the door is gonna basically bump to here. The door has to hang 86.5 inches. So we're gonna go right basically to here. So we're gonna have to lift that up and slide the metal bar underneath. But that way we're gonna flush this with this. The door is gonna basically close directly with this edge. So the door is gonna start from here. That'll be the opening. And then to here. So we're basically gonna do a straight wall now. This is the bottom piece right now to the door. We're gonna jack that part up. Now we're gonna glue this because we're not gonna be drilling into the ground. We could use Tapcons, but I don't wanna do that. I trust my 8X. So we're gonna put that all the way underneath like this. We basically lift this and we press it on.
Now we're gonna connect the top beams and put up our first piece of drywall. All right, so now we're gonna reinforce this widthwise with additional lumber and all this side as well. Now we're gonna start cutting in drywall on this side and on the back side and trying to create the opening of the door.
I'm just gonna go and cut this part. So this is now the opening to the door. Once we get this piece in and the top one, we can go and hang the brackets for the door. All right, so we've got our ladder and I wanna show you guys how cheaply made these condos are. So behind here, obviously, almost no insulation. I mean, look at these rooms. These rooms are basically just a 2-inch stud and then a 1/2-inch drywall. I mean, I put 5/8 on both sides, but I'm actually sticking out too much on that side. There's no insulation in here whatsoever. So it's basically a paper thin. If you fart, you can hear it in one room. Over here, metal studs. So like behind here, I just screw in a bunch of screws because I don't have my stud finder. Nothing here. And then there's a metal edging running that way, so I'm going to secure it to that one. And I managed to find a steel runner that runs around it, so we're going to go screw into that one. So if you're working by yourself and you're trying to basically do a straight level, this is basically a temporary support. I added a piece of drywall on that side, so that way when I do this piece, I can just put the beam on top of that, so that's going to rest here, and then I'm going to run it and then against those two. Put a PL on here. We need a mark, so we know exactly where this is going, and now we just lift this, and we know that this is going to bump against this, like that. And now we just screw that in. A few screws up here. This one, we're gonna stick here, because we're gonna be removing this support very shortly. So this is gonna make sure that it pushes it up to the ceiling and remains. So we're gonna bang this in right now. We've already secured this in place. This is being held. So now we basically need to use this to get the whole wall basically straight. Now the next piece is this. This is what's gonna hold up our door. Also, we're gonna make this a little tighter so you can see that we're like maybe 1/8 too large. We're gonna bang that in with our mallet because you wanna make sure that it's super tight in there. Alright, so we're gonna go start putting the first layer of mud. Then that way this will dry. Before we leave, we can apply maybe a second.
The first coat is done and we added some drywall at the very top. Now we're gonna hang the last piece from the inside of the room, square it in, and then continue patching.
So we finished the inside all the way to the ceiling. We ran out of drywall, so we're gonna have to go grab some to finish off this side up here. All right, so we're up on the last stretch, cutting into pieces for here. We just got our last piece from Home Depot. Gonna screw this in, cut this as one long piece, and then we should be good. Then we just patch it up. Over, dropping this thing. All right. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just.
All right, so here it is, completely finished. We already put the seam tape and we put drywall mud on the outside. Also, all the screws, everything is patched up. This needs to dry overnight. We still need to add the electrical. We're going to add a fan that's controlled by remote control. As far as the room goes, it's perfect for a studio office, and it will fit a twin-size bed while still giving you about 3.5 feet for a desk up front of the bed, and you can have a little space to walk around in.
Part of doing your own stuff is figuring out how to be an electrician. So I wanted to hook a fan, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work. There's a switch here. Let's see if this works. That doesn't work. The remote is the only way that the light's going to be able to be turned on and off, I suppose. Okay, so this is right now temporary. As you can see, this is like the craziest fan setup, the tidiest. And I didn't have my electrical tools with me, so I got it working. So let's just get that in. Finish that off. I put that in. Just gotta test the fan. This light switch actually doesn't control this. So I guess there's no way to turn this on and off without the remote. That's the only thing, but at least there's light in here. Just waiting this to dry, and then we're gonna put the door on. And then before Home Depot closes, we're gonna go and grab another thing of putty and paint. And I think we're gonna be done by tomorrow morning. And now, actually, the wall is feels like a wall. Even though I didn't even secure anything, I just used PL3 and just the pressure of the lumber.
So we are completely finished patching this up, and we're gonna move on to our door kit. We've already attached the two top hangers that are gonna slide on the rail. The most important part about hanging a door like this is to make sure that the brackets go into the studs. And if you remember, we specifically added a 6x2 going all the way above because we knew we were going to have a super solid door with tempered glass, and we wanted to make sure that it's not going to collapse.
Let's just say you wanted the door to always just close automatically super slowly. You do like a 5-degree angle, and then gravity is slowly going to go and close it for you. If you're doing it like we are, where the door is literally right here, there's like nothing on the other side, then you want to make sure that you get as close to the edge as possible. First, we mark out 86.5 inches right from the bottom to here. That is the dimension that they gave us in the manual. So we're gonna land at 6 right on the edge, and then we're gonna go one more here, one more there. Once you have your hole, grab your kit. We have these brackets. Sometimes you don't have these. All you have is basically the black bar with holes in it, and that's an alternative way of doing it. And then you would have like some sort of a spacer from the back to give you that extra space so the door would slide. In our case, they give us these weird angle brackets where we're gonna put the piece of metal inside. Now don't pre-drill this. There's a risk that you're gonna crack the stud, so always pre-drill. And then we're gonna be using one of these. That fits it all in. Done 4 so far, so that's basically how it's gonna sit. I'm just testing it, and you can see that it's stuck at the bottom, so it does work. The big stuff is done. Still gotta tweak it, but it closes, it opens. So, all right. So the last step of the puzzle is the guide track on the bottom. You usually want to have this inside the groove about 1 inch away from here. Measure off the distance from here to the door. That's the same that you want at the bottom, or maybe a little closer in. As far as the distance, you kind of want to have the door hiding this part. So like this. That's kind of how we want the door to start. So we're gonna put the stopper right here. You see where the tape is? That's where the stopper is gonna go. Kind of like here. You see when this goes all the way to the end, we have basically what, this much right? So you don't see the edge. We're doing the same thing here. See, we actually could go a little more forward. Yeah, we could go just a little more forward, like that. So then we could put our guide at the bottom there. And I don't like to do this with a drill, just in case I get it wrong. And see, it still gets caught, which means it's not going anywhere. So now, we need to catch that one before that one leaves the other one. Okay, so now we need to get this one, and then put this one here, like that. There we go. All right, so we're pretty much ready for paint. We've already painted this side, and on the door, so this side is all done. So here's what it looks like. And then we've set the baseboards too. So we added the baseboards. We found the same thickness, but not the same height. And we're not gonna do a little one here. That's fine. That came out nice. We already did this here as well. You just gotta remove this because I did not have my brad nailer.
And we still need to finish off the trim because we rented this in 2 days as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $29.50, which is still about $550 under my carrying costs, unfortunately.
All right, so we're putting up trim and we don't have any tools with us except a caulking gun, and we have a 4-inch grinder. So we're cutting this wood with the 4-inch grinder, and then we're basically just putting dabs of PL8 here. And then we're gonna fill in the gaps with caulking. Now, we're just carefully gonna align this with this. This is gonna be nice and flat because it's just on the drywall, so we're not really gonna need to put caulking, but we will just to make it nice and clean. And perfect cuts are required when you don't have the tools. Alright, so now we're just gonna tape that up, put a little Alex, and we're done.
Alright, so we're done. By adding a 3rd bedroom to this unit, we've increased the price of the condo by about $45,000. In addition, we updated the listing while I was doing a reno, and we had probably about 12 showings, and it went within 2 days, even before I finished the reno. The room itself will fit a twin-size bed and a computer desk, so it's perfect for a student or a baby if this was a couple, or of course as a closed office. In any case, definitely worth the addition.
The door closes nicely. This is the other bedroom. So let's break down exactly how much this room cost me. Remember, this is a 15-foot ceiling by 12 feet here and another 15 feet on the other side. The breakdown is basically drywall, lumber, the door, trim, the drywall mud, miscellaneous glues. So it ended up basically being about 3,000 and change in materials. Labor was crossed from 4 days, and I think it took me about 35 to 40 hours or so. But it's definitely worth it. Now I got a quote that they wanted about $7,500 to do this. So I pretty much shoved the price in half, I would say. So this unit ended up costing $39,000, but this is in 2000 and I think 18 that I bought this. So this is like 5 years later. It was appraised last year for 735, and then this year units are selling for about 680. So the price has significantly dropped. So the game is don't sell real estate, because if you qualify, if you jump through all the hoops, carry it. In 2 to 3 years, everything's gonna recover. This unit will be worth $750 to $770, I would say, in the next 2.5 years. The interest rates are through the roof right now. However, it's still worth keeping it, renting it at a loss, because let's just say you're carrying $650 like I am. In 1 year, that's about 75, well, it's called $8,000. So $8,000 you're gonna pay to carry this condo while being rented. I'm gonna pay $20,000 over to hold this just so I can earn an extra 60, it's worth it. If we're not getting any rents, we're gonna try to do Airbnb. If we can't do Airbnb, we're gonna try to rent it to students. But don't sell it. Qualifying and this and that in Canada is pretty crazy, but there's ways that you can get a mortgage even if the bank says no, basically. It's called creative financing. You just got to know the right people. So that's basically the investment game. If you're in the Toronto area, anywhere, all the way from Brantford, even Sarnia, and you wanna buy a property, or you have a question about investing or real estate, let me know. Been in this game for 23 years, I think. I'm old. I just look young. Or do I look young? I don't look young. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.